Well, hello there all you magnificent people, and welcome back to another episode of An Ecologist Plays, a channel where we get to talk about nature while playing games. And as you can see, we are back in Empires of the Undergrowth, back in the second part of the first Fire Ant mission, Cold Blood. Now before we continue, just a quick recap of what happened last time.
Let the war commence!
There are mole crickets!
I knew my raptors would prevail.
The colony lies in the shadow of a great titan to the north.
And that's it, so let's jump right back into it. Now we have got another nest of ants over here. These are the Phaidoli morisi, the big-headed ants. And you can see there, some of them have got amazingly big heads. If we just go and click on that one, yeah, that is indeed the soldier, the big-headed ant soldier. Not very originally named, the big-headed ants, but the soldiers here, they do have very, very big heads. So you can see here we've got our minor workers and we've got our major workers, or our soldiers. Now normally the miners will actually be foraging alone, but once they have found food though, the majors may also join them and help collect the food and bring it back to the colony. So that may actually be what happened here. Yes, they have found the caterpillars of the swallowtail butterflies on this plant over here, and the majors helped them to collect it. So I think let's try to get to 60 soldiers, and once we get to 60 soldiers we will upgrade a bunch of them, and then we'll take on the bullfrog, I think. So a lot of food up here. Being fire ants and being omnivorous, I'm sure we could go for the seeds up here of these pine cones over here. This is basically a female pine cone, Mega strobilus over here, and then a whole bunch of little kernels have fallen out. A whole bunch of little seeds have of course also fallen out. So we may be going for this once we have exhausted the underground food. And now we are going to have our first level 3 fire ant soldier here, which means a second one hatches.
Even in small numbers the fire ants are menacing, but in large numbers they are virtually unstoppable.
And now we're going to have even more of these. Alright, I do believe we have now gathered all the underground food. We're actually going to set our one group of workers to actually just come and collect the honeydew over here, while our major workers here, our soldiers, are going on a little expedition to go collect the pine cones, pine seeds over there. But we've got a tiger beetle again.
Tiger beetle, Cicindela sexcutata, is on the move near the nest.
Yeah, well,
Its
it was
metallic
on the move.
green elytra make it unmistakable.
Before we learn more about that, let's just quickly have a look here. Oh my word, it's looking quite goofy in the front here. Oh, that's cool.
And like its other tiger beetle cousins, long legs give it the speed to chase down small arthropods with ease.
Indeed. Okay, so we've gotten rid of a spider there, another one was already dead. We are actually on our way to collect the pine cone seeds. But we are going to take on this checkered beetle before we actually start harvesting. Make sure that it does not bother us while we are collecting food. And there, I see there's another victim up there as well. Tiger beetles, as mentioned before, extremely speedy. They will be running in and grabbing their prey as quickly as possible. However, we've got the numbers. It doesn't stand a chance against us. Now, before we do take on the bullfrog, I do want to go and raid the ants' nests, because we can, of course, take their larvae as food as well. Here is... oh, is this the Bombardier or the false Bombardier? This looks like the false Bombardier. Nope, it is the actual true Bombardier. We don't really have Bombardier beetles in South Africa, but the Bombardier beetle here is it going to be dead? No, it's not going to be dead. It is just running around. Oh, you know what? I think it's coming to our nest. I think it is actively hunting our ants. Oh no, it was actually... it was relocating to another pitcher plant. Interesting. I didn't realize they will do this, but of course, link spider up there... oh, our food stores are full. Well, I guess what we'll do is we will upgrade some ants in that case. Yeah, the fire ants really are extremely cheap to use. One can very, very easily build up massive numbers. Now, my question is, do we attack or do we not attack? Well, we have got toads arriving at our nest potentially soon, so... ooh!
Clashed with a Bombardier beetle.
And are you gonna... there we go! Haha, perfect! So here what we can see is the Bombardier beetle with its defensive spray, and this is going to kill a whole bunch of our ants over here. This is a boiling hot liquid, and you can see all the droplets traveling with speed. They can do this multiple times per second, so it's basically like an assault rifle in the insect world, if the assault rifle fired super hot liquid. What they will have is in the abdomen, right at the end there, they have got 2 glands, each one containing different compounds. It's hydrogen peroxide and something else. And then they have a mixing chamber. If they feel threatened, like this Bombardier beetle has been feeling, they will actually contract the two glands. The liquids will combine in a special chamber and then be forced out the back over here, basically spraying. And this is an exothermic reaction, meaning heat is released with that reaction, with that chemical reaction taking place. And then this liquid expands, vapor is created, it expands, and then it ejects this boiling hot liquid at whatever is threatening it. And it will tuck its abdomen under its body, like you can see here with the Bombardier beetle, and then spray the boiling hot liquid at predators trying to catch it or eat it. They won't be using this in a way to kill prey. This is a very, very expensive thing to do, so they don't want to waste energy and resources to do this to catch something. They have got formidable jaws, or should have formidable jaws. Oh, there we go. Very, very formidable jaws in the front there. That will actually help them tear their prey apart, catch their prey and tear it apart. So they don't need to spray this at their prey, but they will spray it if they feel threatened. Nice bit of chemical warfare over there, chemical defense.
Feeling threatened, the beetle mixes a cocktail of chemicals
There we
that
go.
react together, boil, and explode from a valve at the base of its abdomen.
Yep. Amazing. Absolutely amazing that they will do that. Now the toads are apparently going to arrive. We're going to see, okay, there's one at the bottom there. So far that is the only one. We're just going to take out another Bombardier beetle here. While I'm keeping an eye on our colony at the bottom, there's a second one popping up. Yeah, we have eradicated that one as well. We're just going to collect some food here. This one is getting closer, so maybe we should actually head down again. Another one at the bottom here, and then there is one right over here. So none of them are actually still already in the nest. Oh, there's another one that's up here. None of them are in the nest yet, but we are going to move all our soldiers. I think let's actually start opening this up a little bit. There we go, it is coming to us. Let us quickly remove it. So even though it is called a toad, or eastern narrowmouth toad, it is in fact not a toad. Oh, there's another one over there. Okay, so once we have eradicated this one, we can take on the second one. There we go. Head on over to this one, right over here. Now, of course, it is right in our brood chamber. Whenever our soldiers actually hatch, they've got that buff. And now they can come and take on this little toad over here. And, well, it is also dead. Don't really stand a chance against the swarming mass that is our fire ant colony. The only real match we may have are these guys, I think. The Phaidole morisi, Morris's big-headed ant. Oh, there's another toad over here. Oh, he's by the queen. No. Luckily, our ants are relatively fast. And quite lethal. Ha, another one bites the dust. I wonder whether we are going to be able to take out the ants over here, or whether we should go for the small ones. They may have more individuals, but I don't think they're going to be a match for our Solenopsis here. Maybe we should first come and raid these little guys. These Monomorium minimum. Shame. Monomorium. Mono one something that is tiny. So these are what we call little black ants, and they are quite strange in that the queens have got very, very short lifespans. Apparently the queens, at least in the laboratory settings, may live for about a year, and then the workers live for about 4 months. So the queen isn't much longer lived than the workers, which is very, very strange. Usually queens last at least a few years, not, 1 year, not singular. So I think we're going to actually come and take out this little one as well, this little colony. I think that is our next objective. We're just going to set our soldiers here so they do not collect food until we are actually in the nest, because otherwise they may be distracted by things like the pitcher plant. They may come for that and, die. So let's not do that. We are also going to just upgrade some of our nests over here, some of our chambers, to get as many fire ants as possible.
If the fire ants are to stand any chance of establishing a long-lasting empire, they must grow quickly. There is no time to waste.
Yes. What we are going to do is we are going to grow quickly by first eradicating the Monomorium minimum over here, these little black ants, and then we are going to go on to the Phaidole morisi over there. Sorry, little guys, you are now in danger. Short-lived ants, typical pioneer
The fire
species.
ants have encountered a tribe of Monomorium minimum black ants. These tiny little ants may seem feeble, but the Invicta colony would do well to treat them with caution. Although primarily scavengers, they are armed with powerful chemical secretions and have been known on occasion to invade fire ant nests.
Interesting. Yeah, they are the little black ant, and there are lots. And there she is, laying lots and lots and lots of eggs.
The Monomoria minimum colony is almost defeated. The Invicta army must press their advantage.
Come on, guys, let's take them out. And, well, this is going to be an extremely short-lived colony. There we go.
The little black ants fought to the last to defend their queen. Now the Invicta colony will enjoy the spoils of war. Defenseless larvae from the vanquished colony will be carried home and fed to the victor's own hungry brood.
Exactly. So now what we're doing is we are collecting the larvae of these Monomoria minimum little black ants. The idea is not to now, like the slave makers, use them as workers in our colony. Instead, we are going to be eating them. This is now a source of food. This is not a source of labor for our colony. Let's just grab all the eggs, all the larvae we can get. Nice, protein-rich, energy-rich little packages, these. But yes, as was mentioned, these little guys, mostly scavengers. They would be feeding on anything from bird droppings to dead insects, anything they can find. And now they are fueling our colony. Another tiger beetle. Victim. Oh, the lynx spider has come to play.
Set upon a green lynx spider, Pushovers viridans. She prefers to hunt on pitcher plants, but out in the open, she loses her advantage.
Yes.
Far from defenseless, however, when threatened, she can spit venom up to 30 centimeters from her fangs.
Amazing that even so... okay, no. Don't collect food, guys. Don't collect food. You're going to just collect the... there we go. Dropping into the pitcher plant there.
The ants have been attracted to secretions of nectar produced by a yellow pitcher plant. In order to feed, however, the ants must position themselves precariously over a deep vat of digestive liquid. Waxy deposits on the rim ensure that any ant that steps too far in won't be stepping out again.
Okay, so now we're going to hopefully lose fewer ants to the pitcher plant, as we're just coming in to collect the last of the larvae. Yeah, we're not going to go for the boring little foods over here, of very little nutritional value compared to the amazing food that are the larvae. And one last thing we can, of course, do is to come and collect the aphids from over here. And we'll just relocate them to close to our nest. I think let's gather around our nest, because it's time for the push against the Phaidoli Morisi. Alright, let's get our army ready. Oh, it's a velvet ant! That's a type of wasp, though. That's not a type of ant. It's a velvet ant, but it's a type of wasp.
Wasp, Dasimutilla occidentalis, more commonly known as the red velvet ant, has wandered into Invicta territory.
Notice that stinger.
Although not on the hunt for fire ants, it will defend itself if threatened. Armed with an extremely powerful sting and displaying bright warning stripes, most creatures give it a wide berth.
Black and red. The aposematic coloration. Basically telling everybody, listen guys, I am extremely dangerous, leave me alone. Okay, now we've got a bit of food thankfully in our stores, because we are going to lose quite a lot of ants now. And hopefully we are also going to get a lot of food.
Bigheaded ants have met in their first skirmish. Sensing the new danger, the Morisi colony responds by awakening ancestral super soldier genes in selected brood, feeding them until their heads are engorged with muscle.
Hello again, guys. This is Future World, just quickly popping in. I just want to quickly chat about these ants here, the Phaidoli Morisi. Because, well, when I originally recorded this video, I didn't really realize that, listen, super soldiers is actually really a thing in the Phaidoli genus, and it seems all Phaidoli are able to do that. So normally in these ants, for a larva to develop into a minor worker or a major worker is dependent on the amount of juvenile hormone that they are exposed to. So if larvae are exposed to a relatively low level of juvenile hormone, they'll simply develop into these minor workers. If, however, they are exposed to more juvenile hormones, metamorphosis is, to some extent, postponed, and they develop into these larger major workers. But in the Phaidole genus, in some cases, if there's a lot of predation or a lot of competition, you can have the larvae being exposed to so much juvenile hormone that it actually crosses a second threshold, and then metamorphosis into the major workers is actually postponed even further, and they develop into even larger soldiers, these super soldiers, which is really, really amazing. And initially it was discovered in only a few species, but then later on it was also found in Phaidole morrisi, Morris's big-headed ant that we have over here. So that was quite cool. And even in species where it hasn't been observed in the wild yet, they have been able to actually get this to happen in laboratory settings by dabbing the larvae with methoprene, which is a compound that stimulates the ants in a similar way to juvenile hormone. And they've been able to actually get super soldiers in all the Phaidole species that they have been testing it. So what this means is there was a common ancestor that was able to develop these super soldiers in the Phaidole genus's ancestry. And that trait has been passed on. It's in the genes of this genus, of this group of ants. And even in species where you haven't observed it yet, there is still that latent ability to do it if there is severe stress, or in certain circumstances. So I thought that is just absolutely brilliant, the fact that we have got that in the game here. Now, before I give back to past Will, I also am going to just quickly pop over to the Monomorium minimum colony, because there was also a very interesting behavior I observed there when editing the video. So let's quickly pop over there. So here we are back with the Monomorium minimum ants, which are miraculously alive again. The behavior I want to show you happens with the gaster, with the back of the ant here, the abdomen of the ants here. They do what we call gaster-flagging or gaster-flagging, which is when they raise it in the air and they wiggle it around like they just don't care. Let's see whether this one can do it before it dies. No, it died shortly before actually doing that. Maybe if we bring in a smaller group of fire ant soldiers, we'll be able to observe that. This one over here was actually doing that. So let's quickly have a look here. And there, it did it. So that is what we call gaster-flagging or gaster-flagging. That one did it again as well. So what they do there is they pump out chemicals. They spray it from their stinger. Look, these ones are doing it as well over here. And the idea is that this actually chases away other ants. It deters other ants. This is mostly when they are at food and they are being threatened by other ants. There's competition with other ants. They will do this to try and get the other ants to disperse, go away from where they are feeding, so that they can then get the food and go back to their colony. It's a bit of a deterrent, which is really awesome. I love the fact that they have got that in the game. It is absolutely amazing. All right, now back to past Will.
The big-headed
there we go, they are the big ones.
A super soldier caste to justify their name. At huge economic cost to the colony, these frenzied champions have been raised for one purpose: to crush the fire
There
ants.
they are. They're not doing a great job against us, unfortunately. But there we go, there is the queen. We have to get to that queen, and we have to get to her as quickly as possible. Our fire ants are really doing their best. Now, what would actually be a better strategy is with those soldiers, with those big-headed soldiers, if they could just block off some entrances. Those heads are quite big, and in a lot of these Phaidole species, they will actually use their heads to block off the entrances to the nest, especially with things like army ants and driver ants and those types of ants coming into an area. Well, if you can block off the entrance with a very, very hard head, it's impossible for the fire ants or other ants to actually gain entrance into the nest. Then you are safe. So that would actually be a better strategy than trying to go at us head on. Because, well, it only ends in tragedy. Like it has there.
The Morrisi colony has fallen, their champions spent, and their queen vanquished. In the end, they could not stand up to the might of the Invicta army.
Now, what we have observed here with our fire ants taking out the Monomorium minimum and the Phaidole morrisi over here, this is what happens if you have two species that have very similar niches, in other words, similar roles in the environment, they feed on similar things in the same way, those types of things. They can't coexist. One will outcompete the other one. And the Solenopsis invicta here, the fire ants, the red imported fire ants, they are extremely good competitors. They're also, and we're actually going to go to that chamber there because they are brewed over there. They're also generalists. In other words, they can actually feed on a variety of things. In other words, they also compete with a bunch of other species. And there's a good chance that they can outcompete all these other ants as well. whenever you have got invasive ants, whether it's fire ants, whether it's yellow crazy ants, whether it is Argentine ants, you have got a drop in diversity of species occurring in an area. It really, really is quite sad, because those species that were there, these monomorium minimum that we had, and the Phaidole morisi, they all had very, very important roles that they were fulfilling in the environment, and now they have been outcompeted by our invasive red imported fire ants.
Bombardier beetle, Galerita bicolor.
There's the false Bombardier.
For small prey tonight. It impersonates the true Bombardier to ward off potential predators, and its mimicry isn't simply visual. It too can spray defensively from its abdomen. In
That's
this
quite
case, the fluid of choice is the familiar formic acid.
Interesting. That's fascinating. So it's not the same. It's the same principle, but it's not the same principle. They also have that defensive spray, but it is not, as it says there. Oh, there we go. It's not that boiling hot liquid. Instead, it is formic acid. You know, that typical thing that gives ants their ant smell if you crush them, for example. I'm not sure how many of you can smell ants, but apparently not everybody can smell ants. I thought there was a common thing that you can smell ants, but it turns out not everybody can smell ants. Oh, here they are. Hello there. I forgot to check our nest, and there are a whole bunch in here. Oh, goodness.
The queen is in imminent danger.
The queen is in danger. Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, no. Come on, guys. Take out these frogs. Take out these frogs. Priorities. Protect the queen. Guys, where are you going? This way. This way. Take them out. Now there are 3. And they're having a jolly patrolly over there. Come on, guys. Stop doing that. Our queen is doing all right. Oh, 5. 5. Okay. Yeah. This isn't going as planned. Well, 1 is dead. 1 frog is dead, thankfully. And now, of course, as we have the numbers, now the frogs are basically screwed. As long as our queen can hold out, there we go. 2 more drop dead. And there's another one that has joined the ranks. 4 dead. 5 dead. And 6, and then of course the last one. And then there is going to be 1 more. That is, yeah, okay, taking a casual stroll to the south here. That's alright. Wow, okay. I really should be paying attention here. Oh, here we go, the frog has arrived. Oh, and the frog is dead. Okay, I think that was everybody. I think we are ready to take on the bullfrog now. So this frog here, the American bullfrog, let's just quickly have a look. This is, in fact, a female. The tympanum over there, the eardrum that you can see, if we just go like this here, that is the eardrum, the tympanum. And in this case, it is smaller than the eye, meaning this is likely a female. The males, in many cases, the eardrum will actually be larger than the eye. It's a massive, massive eardrum. And we are going to now go and take out basically the top predator in this area. While we've got our ants coming along, let's actually head on over. Try and surround the great American bullfrog. And here our first ones are there, and they're already dead.
The fire ants have mounted their first attack upon the great American bullfrog, Ep.8 scatesbianus. The brave frontline soldiers are quickly crushed and eaten.
But
They
a whole
must
bunch jumping on
surround
top.
and swarm the enormous creature to stand any chance of defeating it.
Oh, you know what? I realize now. Well, that was a failed attempt, everybody, because I realized that I had sent my main workers, my little workers out here, to just collect the honeydew over here. They haven't been taking any eggs, they haven't been doing any brood work at all. They were just kind of doing their thing, farming, but since our food stores were actually full, they weren't even doing that. Okay, it'll take a while, but we are going to get all our soldiers, and we only have like 7 left. We're going to have another 119 joining our ranks now, and they're going to be frenzied, which is going to be absolutely brilliant. Our ones are still stinging, they're still doing a bit of a job there, but they're going to get eaten now. Yeah, they're going to leave and die. Shame. I was wondering why on earth don't I have my numbers that I need. Now the bullfrog here, native to North America, as mentioned, it is the American bullfrog, but it has been introduced into various areas, and as far as I recall, it is in fact a major problem in Germany and a lot of other European countries, and then also in Japan and areas in Southeast Asia. They've also been introduced. So a major problem in those areas. And you can imagine a frog this size will have, if it invades an area, it will have a tremendous impact. You don't want that at all. I'm just going to plop down a few more workers now, so that when the big battle comes again, there are a lot more workers to also take eggs to the nest chamber over there. At the same time, also going to just do that, so that there's a nice area where the workers can quickly collect eggs and dump it in the brood chamber over there. Alrighty, I think we have got the numbers to try again. Alright, Bullfrog, it's time for round 2. And here come my frenzied red imported fire ants.
Once again, the fire ants advance upon the great bullfrog. If they do not possess the numbers necessary to overwhelm the creature, this could be very costly for the colony.
Yes, which basically happened a moment ago.
Again and again, soldiers clamp onto the bullfrog's leathery skin and inject their Solenopsis venom, but the beast shows no signs of wavering. The fire ants must maintain their resolve.
That Solenopsis venom is extremely potent. That, of course, is what gives it that extreme burning sensation when you are stung by them. But I believe this is going to be it. The frog, of course, trying to get rid of all the ants on its face. And it is dead.
Overwhelmed with burning venom,
let's grab him a bunch of food while we can.
To the might of the fire ants. Utterly spent, it collapses on the hillside, leaving the victors free to consume its body.
However, you can see amphibian arrival.
Unbeknownst to the ants, the presence of the bullfrog was keeping many other local amphibians at bay. The power vacuum it left behind is attracting a host of salamanders and frogs eager to take its place. The ants should go to ground quickly and prepare for the imminent chaos.
Alright, we should now take our soldiers and come underground. Come and protect the queen. And what we're going to do is we're going to just make little fast running tiles over here, so that our soldiers can really zoom around here nicely. Luckily, we have got a whole bunch of food ready in our stores right over here. Lots and lots of bullfrog chunks all over the place. So this is what we call competitive release, where there was, in this case, a big predator that kept the other amphibian numbers in check, and now that that big predator is no longer there, you've got a whole bunch of other species taking over. It could also be similar to what we call the keystone species concept, which is when there is one species that supports the entire ecosystem, and if that one species disappears, then the system collapses. In this case, the bullfrog here could have maintained the ecology of the ecosystem here, and with it now gone, these other amphibian species may actually take over, and that may result in what we call a cascade of extinctions, which is when a whole bunch of species go extinct. It's a domino effect of species extinctions, basically. Well, we've got a whole bunch of amphibians. We've got a salamander over here. We've got our eastern narrow-mouthed frog over here, or narrow-mouthed toad. Well, they're basically all just going to die now. And then we have learnt our lesson. We are going to keep our soldiers here around our queen. The defense against the amphibians is basically supported through amphibian meat. That one's dead. Everybody come back. Oh yeah, this is brilliant. Our ants are just... I know it's brilliant in the sense that we are doing well. It's not so brilliant if this were an actual ecosystem and you've got the fire ants taking over the entire area. But, you know, for our purposes today, it is brilliant. There aren't many frogs left. There's the one over here in the food chamber, basically just delivered straight to the food chamber. And then there's this one over here. I think this is the last one. In other words, if we defeat it, that should be it. Yeah, indeed.
As the anarchy above ground settles and with the invaders crushed, a new order is established. This is now the domain of the fire ant.
And the problem is that they are going to have a tremendous impact on this environment. Because, well, they're not native to this area and they're going to outcompete a whole bunch of species. Alright, but we are going to take the extra royal jelly and head back to our formicarium, our secret formicarium.
I knew it! I knew it! With the proper exposure and stimulation, the mutation possibilities are boundless. The potential for amalgamation, which is, of course, an epistatic effect owing to increased cytoplasmic viscidity in
What are you doing?
preparing the report.
Can you not do it quietly? Perhaps try using the keyboard?
The keyboard. How quaint.
Now that we have got some food, finally we've got a few more ants hatching. Well, this will now, of course, require me setting up the entire formicarium again. So I think this is actually where we're going to call it a day, everybody. So thank you very much for joining us. If you've got any questions, please do feel free to pop it down in the comments below. And if you enjoyed it, please remember to give the video a like. And if you haven't yet, please do subscribe. It really helps the channel to grow. And it's always marvelous to join new people to the Ecology Squad. So until next time then, everybody, stay safe. I'll see you all soon. Bye.